Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows from around world football. This weekend, Patrick Van Straten is back in the Winners and Losers hot seat.
Hi.
When was the last time that happened? If you know, let us know in the comments below, because we don't. What are we starting with, Pato?
We are starting with Liverpool. This comes courtesy of @AlexTaylor1. And to be honest, we expected them to batter Fulham this weekend, but they only ran out with a 2-0 victory. However, that does put them second in the Premier League, and they've now equalled their best ever start to a Premier League season, which came back in 2002-2003. Remarkably, I genuinely had no idea they were doing this well. They're already 8 points better off than they were at this stage last season.
I mean, how many did City win the league by last year? 9 teams.
A lot.
So, still.
And to be fair, they could also have lost to City this year, whereas last year
yeah.
got that red card and obviously ended up losing 5-0. The victory was a little bit controversial, actually. Alexander Mitrovic had a goal wrongly disallowed, but then Mo Salah scored on the break 14 seconds later.
Misery compiler.
Well, and Clattenburg said as well that when the free kick was taken by Alisson, the ball was moving and it shouldn't have stood.
Oh.
So Fulham might have a little bit of grounds to complain. Jukanovic, after the match, is clearly feeling the pressure. Said the decision showed disrespect to my team, myself, and Fulham supporters.
Get on, Yoki.
It's a little bit bold. Anyway, Liverpool probably would have run out winners anyway. Dominated possession with 73%. They had 20 shots to 7. 7 on target to 3. I mean, that is a recipe for winning comfortably. And given kind of Fulham's in-game stats this season, it is remarkable that Liverpool were able to take the ball off them so easily. Fulham have been averaging 50% possession, 483 passes per game attempted, and 81% pass accuracy.
That's insane.
In this game, they had 27% of the ball.
Unreal.
So almost half of what they normally have. Attempted just 264 passes and managed a 70% pass accuracy. So it's quite amazing how Liverpool force you to play their game. And I mean, I'm not saying that Fulham are particularly difficult to do that to, but it's just easy for Liverpool when they're like this.
It really is. Their press game throws everybody off, doesn't it? Xherdan Shaqiri, let's talk about him as well, because he's clearly enjoying life on Merseyside. He's now contributed to 5 goals in his last 6 appearances in all competitions for the club.
Wow.
Also, a big performance, another big performance from one of Europe's outstanding left-backs, Andy Robertson. 116 touches, 4 tackles and interceptions, 100% tackle success, and created 3 chances. Got that assist for Xherdan Shaqiri as well, which was his 3rd in the Premier League this season and 5th in all competitions. He is right up there amongst the best left-backs in the world at the moment, in my opinion, alongside the likes of Marcelo.
Big claim.
Big claim, but probably incorrect. His defensive contribution as well shouldn't go unnoticed alongside Virgil van Dijk. That's their 7th clean sheet of the season already. That's the most in the league alongside Manchester City. In fact, Liverpool have kept 10 clean sheets in 14 Premier League games at Anfield this year, the same they kept in the whole of 2017. Which is unheard of.
That's mental.
It couldn't be more different for Fulham though, could it? They have the leakiest defence in the league. They're tragic at the back. Jukanovic is worse than Bobby Martinez at organising a backline. Tim Ream plays in skating boots. It's all over the place. After 12 goals, they've conceded 31. That's an average of 2.6 per game. What is going on at the back? It's an absolute disgrace. Surely it's coming to the end for Jukanovic. He can't have much longer left in the job. He's a cat. He's used up 8 of his lives at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, though, to be honest, if you were going to sack him, you'd sack him before the Liverpool game. Like, being beaten by Liverpool is not really that bad. And if I were a new manager, I'd be like, there's no way I'm taking charge of Fulham before they play Liverpool.
It's very true. I mean, also, they probably should have got rid of him after he lost to Huddersfield.
Yeah, or Cardiff.
Or shipped 4 to Cardiff. You know, he's an absolute mess. So are Fulham, but well done, Xherdan. Decent signing that, wasn't it?
Our first losers of the week come from @CKNX_Drury. Wow, it is Chelsea.
Yeah, not a terrible result for Chelsea. Obviously a 0-0 draw at home against Everton, but still not good enough. It's only the 2nd time they've ever gone unbeaten in their opening 12 games of a Premier League season, but they will still feel slightly aggrieved they didn't come out of this with all 3 points, because they were by far the better team. 70% possession, 15 shots to Everton's 6. Marcos Alonso had 2 gilt-edged chances. One was a volley in the first half that Pickford saved, and in the second half from a similar sort of position actually, he hit the post, didn't he, when maybe he should have done better, but equally did well to even hit the post. Even though they are the only unbeaten team in the entirety of Europe now, congratulations to Maurizio Sarri for that. It was a bad weekend for the Blues overall though, wasn't it? Obviously they lost ground on Manchester City, who hammered United. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. And Liverpool picked up 3 points yet again, didn't they? We just spoke about that, meaning they are just 1 point ahead of 4th place Spurs now. Tight stuff there. Spurs creeping up. James Bond style from behind.
Well,
it's insane.
Don't they play Spurs? They play Spurs after the international
break.
They
do. 14 days time at Wembley.
And then Spurs have got Arsenal as well.
Tough games.
And Arsenal then have United. Oof. So, I mean, all those teams are playing each other and it could be an opportunity for the top 2 to maybe pull ahead a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. But Everton look like they're catching up with the best sides in the league. Yerry Mina is now back and fit, and he was pretty solid in this game, made 3 clearances, completed 29 of his 32 passes, which is very, very good. And the defence overall is extremely good at suppressing shots.
Yeah.
The only teams in the league who concede fewer shots per game than them are the top 3 and Watford. They're 4th in the league also for tackles, so they're a very active defensive side. And this is good kind of stability that I guess like Marco Silva's instilled in the team after some early season wobbles. Pickford obviously looks like he's in good form again, made 4 saves in the 90 minutes, which equals his best tally in the league so far. They could even have got more out of it. You know, Bernard had that chance.
Oh my God, how does he miss?
It's just stuck in his feet and he scuffs it. Like, yeah, it's a bit, it's not great. But they've managed to construct quite an interesting attack as well. I think having Richarlison, who kind of plays wide but cuts in, having Walcott, Bernard, Lookman, even Tosin, like all these people, I think they've got a reasonably like unpredictable attack. They've got a lot of physical gifts in that attack, and they average the 6th most shots in the box per game at the moment in the Premier League, despite playing kind of that without a proper centre forward.
Yeah.
Richarlison is still in the process of becoming one, I think. So that's pretty exciting, and there's a lot of youth in that team as well. Even though the squad is absolutely ridiculous. It's so large.
Yeah,
they need to sell about 12 people in January.
Bloated.
But I think that now they've maybe got a good shot at finishing 7th or even 6th if Man United continue to be absolutely rubbish. They're 9th with 19 points. The teams in 6th to 8th have 20 points. I think Arsenal only have 24, something like that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty tight race. But who do you think is the best team outside of the top 6? Is it Everton? Is it Wolves? Let us know in the comments below.
It's Man United. Our next winners were sent in by Inside Argentina, and they say River Plate, Pato.
Yes, River Plate were away at their arch rivals, Boca Juniors, for a Super Classico, and not just any Super Classico, the Copa Libertadores final. How amazing is that? They were at the Bombonera, but they must have felt like they were at home because there was a river running through the stadium. Oh, footage of that right now. Anyway, they escaped with a 2-2 draw. Izquierdo's own goal in the second half salvaged a point after they'd gone behind twice in the first half. That was actually the first own goal in the Libertadores final for 7 years.
Ouch.
And to be honest, a draw was probably fair. It's a very even match. Possession pretty much even. Shots on target, all pretty similar. Which is great to go away from home and do that. But maybe Boca were hamstrung a bit by Pavon going off injured after about half an hour. That was what set the game alight, really. Abila then opened the scoring for Boca. Just a minute later, Lucas Prato equalised. Abila's goal was actually his 5th from 9 shots on target in the Libertadores. Mental. And then Pavon's replacement, Benedetto, put Boca ahead again just on the stroke of half-time, the 46th minute. It's actually the first time since 2008 where there have been 3 goals before half-time. So, I don't know, it was really exciting then, but the second half was not quite as enjoyable.
The second half was a turgid affair. There were only 2 shots on target in the Bastard, and both of them came on after the 85th minute, didn't they? Awful the second half was. Don't worry though, Carlos Tevez did get minutes. People will be saying, oh, where's Carlos Tevez? He did get minutes. He came on in the 60th minute, and he actually set up an unbelievable chance for Benedetto, who scuffed it. Not a good finish. Had to score right at the death as well. Some other standout performance though. One particular one we have to mention, Gonzalo Martinez, the River Plate attacking midfielder. 2 shots, both on target, 4 key passes, 3 dribbles. Now, as much as we've put River Plate in the winners here, it's still very, very open. Charlotto, his side have a fantastic record at the El Monumental, which is River Plate Stadium. They've actually not lost in the last 4, they've won 3 of them. It's going to be a really close game, so don't write Boca off by any means. I think it's a 13-day wait now until the second leg.
Such a long time.
It's a long time. Hopefully there's no flooding going on this time and we just get it over and done with first time. But it should be an epic Super Classico. So stay tuned for the winners and losers after that, because we'll probably talk about it that day, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does.
Our second and final losers of the week inevitably have to be Manchester United. This comes from @FreddieMUFC. Tomlinson, how are you feeling about this?
Well, I'm annoyed, I'm angry, but what can you do? This Manchester City side are just imperious, aren't they? Obviously beating us 3-1 at the Etihad. United are now 12 points behind the league leaders. In fact, we're as close to Cardiff in the relegation zone as we are to Manchester City at the top of the table. We were completely outclassed by Man City. Let's have it right. We had 6 attempts on goal, I believe, and only 1 of them came from open play. City had 17 shots. There was a stat, in fact, in the first half popped up. I think it was about 22 minutes into the game. City had 87% possession.
Oh my God.
Absolutely obscene. We couldn't get hold of the ball. United always concede first as well. Happened midweek against Juventus, we came back and won, didn't it? Happened against Chelsea, we came back and drew. In fact, only Cardiff, Fulham and Palace have conceded first more times in the Premier League this season. That is just not good enough. Our midfield was turgid. It was terrible. I've used that word twice in this episode, and rightly so. Marouane Fellaini, usually a super sub for us, was actually handed a start, and he was fairly busy. 7 clearances, 4 tackles, 1 interception, partnered though by Ander Herrera and Matic. It's hardly an inspiring midfield combination, is it? It's just not really good enough. None of them on Sunday played a forward pass. It was always sideways and backwards. It was so bad. I mean, they probably played 1 or 2.
Oh, right, okay. I thought that was a stat.
There was like a 12 minutes period where we didn't play a single forward pass on any of our midfield 3. It was just not good enough. Lukaku also came on 56 minutes in and made an instant impact, didn't he? His very first touch, winning a penalty that Anthony Martial obviously converted. And I suddenly thought in that moment, here we go, it could be back on here. We've turned it around enough times this season. We did it against Juventus midweek. We did it at the Etihad last season. It's about to happen here. But then I realised Manchester City are outrageously good and we didn't touch the ball for the next 15 minutes. Alexis Sanchez also came on, didn't he? But he only, I think, touched the ball like 6 times or something like that. In fact, he actually touched the ball less times than Phil Foden, and Phil Foden came on in like the 90th minute. He was on the pitch for 30 minutes, Alexis Sanchez. It's not good enough for Man United, is it? It's crap. We're crap.
I mean, this is a bit of a tough fixture to decide your crap on the back of, though.
I mean, I've decided that long ago.
Fair point.
We've lucked our way past Juventus, scraped a result out of Chelsea, outplayed by Bournemouth, but a Rashford winner in the last minute, lost to West Ham, all over the place in every home match. But, you know, papering over the cracks.
Well, Manchester City, I mean, they just continue to roll along. They had 65% possession. Obviously, top of the table still, 2 points clear of Liverpool, 4 points clear of Chelsea. I mean, it looks like the season, it's not over, but barring something calamitous, it's pretty over. Aguero, great day for him as well, despite the lid. He scored City's second. He's now joint Manchester Derby top scorer alongside Wayne Rooney.
Wazza.
8 goals each. Anyway, City's last Premier League loss. How many games do you think it's been since they lost?
I believe it was 18 ago and it was against us.
It was against you, that's exactly correct. And it's hard to pick a man of the match. Everyone was pretty good on the day, but Bernardo and Fernandinho were probably the keys. Bernardo made 6 key passes.
Jesus
Six
Christ.
key passes. The whole United team made 4.
Wow.
He completed 2 dribbles and provided 2 assists. He has 3 goals and 3 assists in 12 league games for City. And I actually think that what's more impressive this season, his defensive contribution. Like, it's really gone up. His tackle and interception numbers have really popped. He's making nearly 3 a game, which for a guy who started life as a little dribbly winger at Monaco is pretty remarkable. Fernandinho, on the other hand, I want to highlight his attacking contribution. He had 4 shots and 2 shots on target, beating Anthony Martial in both categories. Though Anthony Martial, to be fair, had half of your team's shots.
Yeah.
And he had your only shot on target.
Yeah, and he wasn't helped by the fact that obviously we didn't play Sanchez or Lukaku, so we had to do a lot of forward work. But also, Luke Shaw was just getting rattled going backwards.
There were a couple of times, though, in the first half, I thought, where Martial would pick the ball up on the left wing, drive in, he was trying to bend it into that far corner again
and a couple good chances.
And every time, like, they just get across and make the block. But I kind of thought, oh, one of these is going to come off at some point.
But there was one moment where Anthony Martial found himself at centre half, which was particularly disturbing.
I feel like everyone has
slipped
at some
the ball
point
down the channel and he just couldn't track his man and nearly scored.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, Fernandinho, 103 touches, 3 interceptions, 4 clearances, 3 tactical fouls, didn't get a yellow card.
Yeah, it was ridiculous how Fernandinho didn't get a yellow card.
That is absolutely mental. Anyway, City don't even have a difficult game until they go away to Chelsea in December. United, they've got Crystal Palace next time out. Palace have lost 6 of the last 7.
Don't worry, they're playing United. If it's at Old Trafford, we're in all sorts of trouble.
Well, the one they didn't lose as well was against Arsenal. So, I mean, I feel Palace are quite good against the big sides. But anyway, City's season continues to go from strength to strength. Man United deservedly beaten on the day.
So that's it from Winners and Losers this week. But if you haven't already, make sure you download the podcast. The links are in the description right now. Patty, what were you and Chris talking about?
We talked about AC Milan and whether they should get a new manager, what a new manager could expect to find, how they get back to the top. And also, I kicked Manchester City out of football.
Oh! So click links in the description now. Goodbye.